Welcome to Think and Speak podcast, where your English improves every single day. I'm Daniel Miller.
And I'm Emma Collins. Today's lesson is powerful, practical, and designed to help you speak English fluently in just 10 minutes a day.
Fluency isn't magic. It's daily practice, smart techniques, and confidence.
Exactly. And today we're giving you real conversation models, modern vocabulary, and clear grammar explanations you can actually use.
If you've ever felt nervous speaking English or stuck translating in your head, this episode is for you.
Stay with us until the end, because each question I ask Daniel will unlock a new speaking strategy.
And remember, fluency grows when you participate.
So before we begin, like this video, subscribe to Think and Speak podcast, and comment below. I will speak English confidently.
Your comment is your commitment.
Let's begin your journey to confident, natural English. Daniel, many learners say, I understand English, but I can't speak fluently. They watch movies, listen to podcasts, and study grammar, but when it's time to speak, they freeze. Why does this happen? Is it a vocabulary problem, a grammar issue, or something psychological? And more importantly, what can someone do in just 10 minutes a day to move from passive understanding to active speaking? Some students tell me they are afraid of making mistakes. Others say they translate from their native language first, which slows them down. I've also noticed that many learners focus heavily on complicated grammar rules like the present perfect continuous or conditionals, but they struggle to use basic sentence patterns naturally. So Daniel, can you explain the real reason behind this silent learner problem? And please give us a practical daily method, something modern and realistic, that our viewers can start using today to become confident speakers.
That's a powerful question, Emma. The biggest reason learners understand English but cannot speak fluently is the difference between passive skills and active skills. Listening and reading are passive. Speaking and writing are active. Fluency requires muscle memory, just like going to the gym. Many learners focus on input but ignore output. They consume English but rarely produce it. This creates what I call the mental translation trap. Instead of thinking in English, they think in their native language and translate. Translation slows fluency because your brain is doing double work. Another issue is perfectionism. Students are afraid of grammatical mistakes. But fluency is about communication, not perfection. For example, saying, yesterday I go to the store, is grammatically incorrect because the verb tense should be past simple, went, but communication still happens. Confidence grows when we allow small mistakes. Now, here's a practical 10-minute daily method. Minute 1 to 2. Speak out loud about your day using the present simple and past simple. Example, I wake up at 7 a.m. yesterday, I worked on a project. Focus on subject plus verb plus object structure. Minute 3 to 4. Practice one useful phrase pattern. For example, I've been trying to, present perfect continuous. Example, I've been trying to improve my pronunciation. This tense shows an action that started in the past and continues now. Minute 5 to 6. Shadowing technique. Listen to a short audio clip and repeat immediately. This improves pronunciation, connected speech, and intonation. Minute 7 to 8. Answer one daily question. For example, what motivates you? Speak for 1 full minute without stopping. Do not translate. Think directly in English. Minute 9 to 10. Reflection. Say 3 sentences using new vocabulary. For example, I'm building consistency. I'm gaining confidence. I'm making progress. Notice the grammar focus here. Present simple for habits. Past simple for finished actions. Present perfect continuous for ongoing improvement. This structured repetition builds automaticity. Fluency is not about knowing advanced words like meticulous or extraordinary. It's about using core structures automatically. If learners practice daily, even for 10 minutes, they shift from knowledge to performance. That is where fluency begins.
Daniel, let's talk about vocabulary. Many students try to memorize long vocabulary lists. They write down 50 new words a day, but they forget them quickly. Others use mobile apps, flashcards, or translation tools, yet they still struggle to use those words naturally in conversation. Is memorization the wrong method? Should learners focus on phrases instead of single words? And what about modern English? Slang, phrasal verbs, and expressions used in real conversations. Sometimes textbooks teach very formal English, but real conversations sound completely different. So how can someone build a strong, practical vocabulary that they can actually use in daily life at work or while traveling? What strategy would you recommend for learning words deeply instead of temporarily? Please give examples of sentence patterns, collocations, and maybe even explain why context is more important than memorization.
Excellent question, Emma. Memorizing isolated words is one of the least effective ways to build vocabulary. Language works in chunks, not in single units. This is called lexical chunks or collocations. For example, we don't usually say, make a photo. We say, take a photo. The verb, take, collocates with photo. If you memorize only the word photo, you cannot use it naturally. Instead of learning 50 random words, learn 5 phrases in context. For example, I'm looking forward to, gerund after preposition. Example, I'm looking forward to meeting you. It turns out that. Example, it turns out that practice is the key to fluency. I'm trying to figure out. Phrasal verb. Example, I'm trying to figure out this grammar rule. Notice grammar patterns inside vocabulary. After look forward to, we use a verb plus ing form. That's a grammar rule connected to vocabulary. Modern English relies heavily on phrasal verbs. For example, give up, quit, bring up, mention, work on, focus on improving. Instead of memorizing definitions, create personal sentences. This activates deeper cognitive processing. For example, weak learning, improve equals get better. Strong learning, I want to improve my public speaking skills. Also, practice word families. Improve, verb. Improvement, noun. Improved, adjective. Understanding word forms helps you build complex sentences. For example, there has been a significant improvement in my pronunciation. This sentence uses present perfect and a noun phrase. Another key strategy is spaced repetition. Review vocabulary after 1 day, 3 days, and 7 days. Repetition strengthens long-term memory. Context is critical because the brain remembers stories better than lists. If you learn the word challenge inside a sentence like, speaking English every day is a challenge, but it's worth it. You connect emotion and meaning. Finally, focus on high-frequency words. Research shows that the most common 2,000 words cover a large percentage of daily conversations. Mastery of common structures creates fluency faster than rare vocabulary. So the rule is simple. Learn phrases, use them in context, repeat them aloud, and personalize them. Vocabulary becomes active when it becomes yours.
Daniel, pronunciation is another major challenge. Many learners feel embarrassed about their accent. Some speak clearly, but their rhythm or intonation sounds unnatural. Others pronounce each word separately, without connected speech, so their English sounds robotic. How important is pronunciation for fluency? Should learners try to sound like native speakers, or is clarity more important than accent reduction? Also, can you explain features of modern spoken English, such as linking sounds, contractions, and stress patterns? For example, native speakers often say gonna, wanna, or kinda. Should learners use these forms? And what daily exercises can someone do in 10 minutes to improve pronunciation and sound more natural? Please give practical techniques and explain the difference between word stress and sentence stress. Many students don't understand why their sentences sound flat even when the grammar is correct.
Pronunciation is extremely important, but clarity is more important than having a perfect native accent. Communication depends on intelligibility. If people understand you easily, your pronunciation is successful. English is a stress-timed language. That means stressed syllables occur at regular intervals, and unstressed syllables become shorter. This creates rhythm. First, word stress. Every multi-syllable word has one stressed syllable. For example, present, noun. Present, verb. Changing stress changes meaning. That's why stress matters. Second, sentence stress. In English sentences, content words, nouns, main verbs, adjectives, adverbs are stressed. Function words, articles, prepositions, auxiliary verbs are usually unstressed. Example: I want to improve my English pronunciation. Notice how the important words carry stress. This creates natural rhythm. Connected speech is another feature. Native speakers link words. Want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. Did you becomes didya. These are reductions. Learners should understand them first. Using them is optional, but understanding them improves listening skills. Daily 10-minute pronunciation routine. Minute 1 to 3. Record yourself reading a short paragraph. Focus on word stress. Minute 4 to 6. Shadow a native speaker. Copy rhythm, intonation, and speed. This improves suprasegmental features, stress and rhythm. Minute 7 to 8. Practice minimal pairs. Ship versus sheep. Bit versus beat. This trains vowel distinction. Minute 9 to 10. Practice sentence stress. Take one sentence and exaggerate stress. I really want to speak English confidently. Intonation also changes meaning. Rising intonation often indicates a question. You're coming. Falling intonation shows certainty. I'm ready. Pronunciation improves through awareness and repetition. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for clarity, rhythm, and confidence. Fluency is not about sounding American or British. It's about sounding clear, natural, and expressive.
Daniel, finally, let's talk about confidence and mindset. Some learners have strong grammar knowledge and decent vocabulary, but when they speak to real people, they become nervous. Their mind goes blank. They overthink sentence structure. They worry about judgment. Is confidence a skill that can be trained? How can someone develop a fluency mindset? Also, what role does positive self-talk play in language learning? I've heard you say before that identity matters, that if someone says, "I'm bad at English," they reinforce that belief. Can changing internal language really affect speaking performance? Please give our viewers practical psychological techniques they can apply daily. And if possible, connect this mindset advice with specific grammar structures they can use to express growth, goals, and progress.
Confidence is absolutely a trainable skill. Fluency is psychological as much as linguistic. First, identity shapes performance. If you repeatedly say, "I can't speak English," you are using the modal verb can't, which expresses inability. Language influences belief. Replace it with growth-oriented structures. I'm learning to speak English. Present continuous for progress. I'm improving every day. Present continuous for ongoing development. I've made progress. Present perfect for achievements. Grammar reflects mindset. Second, reframe mistakes. Instead of saying, "I made a mistake," say, "That was a learning opportunity." This uses past simple but shifts emotional meaning. Third, use visualization. Before speaking, imagine a successful conversation. The brain responds to mental rehearsal similarly to real practice. Fourth, use structured preparation. Prepare flexible sentence frames. In my opinion. From my perspective. One reason is that. These discourse markers organize speech and reduce hesitation. Fifth, practice exposure. Speak in low-pressure environments first. Record videos. Join online groups. Gradual exposure reduces anxiety. Also, use modal verbs for empowerment. I can improve. I will keep practicing. Future simple for determination. I might make mistakes, but I will continue. Modal of possibility plus future commitment. Finally, measure progress weekly. Last month, I was afraid to speak. Now, I can hold a 5-minute conversation. This contrast uses past simple and present simple to highlight growth. Confidence grows when action becomes consistent. 10 minutes daily creates evidence. Evidence builds belief. Belief builds fluency. You are not becoming fluent someday. You are becoming fluent sentence by sentence. And that is the power of daily practice on Think and Speak podcast.